dive into some of your collection, then we'll hit up some news or something. Why not?
Sure,
So
sounds good.
we'll wait for a minute or two for everyone to come in.
Yeah, man.
So you're down in Florida, you said?
Yeah, Florida Keys. What about you?
Oh man, I'm up north in Pennsylvania.
Oh, really? Yeah, I got some family there in New Jersey area.
Yeah, okay. I'm like Central PA. I'm like an hour from Philly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to the east. It's not too bad. Kind of sucks traffic wise, but that's okay. All right, man. So I'll give you a minute or two if you want to introduce yourself and shout out any social media.
Oh, sweet. We're going. Cold
Yeah, we're
intro. I like
going.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bake the Snake here. My name's Tommy. I got my own channel, Bake the Snake. Mainly, I just like to hang out in the chats and, talk with everybody about this great hobby that we're all have in common. I do a show on another channel called Direct Edition Squad with Comic Books NYC, Jeffrey Comic Con Henson, and Soldier and Fuchsia Only. We haven't done an episode in a little while, but it's just kind of something where we get together and talk about other things than comics. I mainly talk about snacks, but that's just me. Uh, Other than that, I just enjoy hanging out and, meeting all these people in the community.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's all about. And you know, just by looking at the background you got going on there, seems like you've been
Yeah.
collecting for quite a while there.
Yeah,
Uh,
those are some pops there and some other things, and that was actually completely filled with pops at one point before I
nice.
made the transition back into the comic realm.
Nice. It seems like everyone, they leave the hobby for a little bit, they come back. There's usually a sprinkle of pops in there somewhere, but it's very cool, very cool. So, how long have you been collecting, books specifically?
Uh, I was in the '90s, like you said, and then left probably like midway high school. Girls, work, school, sports, just busy. And I'm in a small town where once the comic shop left, I had nothing around here to even like pique my interest anymore. To me, it was
Sure,
just off my radar completely. So
absolutely.
then last year, I don't know, man, I was part of this BAM community, BAM box. It's a subscription box. They were great in the beginning and they're still pretty decent. I'm not trying to knock on them, but like any subscription box, if you get too popular, it's harder to offer quality products. You have to fill all your subscribers' boxes. But there's a trading community, and that was like my first taste, and that's what got me. I saw some Spider-Man books, and from there, I just was headfirst into it again, man. I found a local comic shop, if you can call that local. It's in Miami, about 60 miles, an hour drive.
And you're how far north? Or you're south of that, so you're like two
Yeah, I'm
hours.
the very first key, like the first island when you come off the mainland.
Oh, when you say Keys, you mean like you're on an island
Yeah, the
in the
Florida
Keys?
Keys. Yeah,
Okay,
the Beach
awesome.
Boys, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Kokomo.
So, I mean, the question has to be asked. Being in the Keys, I've never been to the Keys, but I would imagine hurricanes are a real problem and a real threat. So, how do you take precautions to protect not only your house but your collection? I mean, it's an investment, so you're going to want to take care of
Yeah.
it as best you can.
Pretty much after Hurricane Andrew for houses, you pretty much have to have a code. Now, there's other things that are grandfathered in, but I'm fine. I'm in a concrete house with a brand new roof. There's shutters that you put up on your window, so as long as there's nowhere for air to get in, your house is pretty good. Property is about 15 foot above sea level, so I got a pretty good head start when it comes to flooding. But also, when flooding does happen, it's usually about 4 to 5 feet up. So I try to get things up off the ground that I can, and I tend to put them in trash bags. Very like my better box that I have here with more of my favorite, not necessarily expensive, but there are expensive books in there. Um, I double bag it opposite ways just in case, tie it up, and then I actually put them up high up here because this is, gets them up high enough. because all the windows will be shuttered, so I'm not really worried about wind. If one of those shutters goes in, then the whole house is screwed anyway. So I'm lucky to have what's left over. But I also have one box that I take with me. Maybe not necessarily a whole box because I need to keep it light, being able to move.
Right. So it's like your grab box.
Exactly.
Anything cool in there?
Yeah, I got some. We can show some now or
Sure,
later,
yeah.
whatever you.
Go for it. This is all about your collection, man. This is all about you.
Yeah.
So we're dying to see what's in Bake the Snake's grab box for Hurricane whatever coming.
Well, I didn't want to go. Well, we can go with these ones first, man.
Sure.
These are simple, but I've been getting into Pieta covers, so I got some older, like the Ghost Rider.
That's cool.
And then She-Hulk.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a cool one right there. But then really I got the Origin of Enemy Ace. This is an old book here. 12 center. Red Baron.
Nice. That's a cool one. I really like that one.
Yeah, I dig it, man. I found it, I guess a little honey hole I found on eBay. Some guy that no one ever really bid on. And I was lucky to run into him. This one here, the first
Tarzan.
First Tarzan on DC. So that one's pretty cool. And then I started getting into birthday books. So I'd probably, this one is a month and year that I was born, and his first appearance of Cloak and Dagger. So that's
kind of cool.
Not many people have a key for their birthday books, and I was lucky to get a pretty okay one, a pretty decent one. I have some others, man, but I know you want to discuss some topics, so I don't want to pull them out now.
That's awesome. Yeah, no. I'm glad, but that's
because these are towards the end of that bailout box. The ones that I would really take with me are kind of for the other topics that we were going to discuss. So, but they are part of the bailout box,
That's a great segue into the first question. What is your favorite book in your collection? Is it the birthday box or the magazine?
No. My favorite book is this one here. It means a lot to me. It was one of the first stories I read that got me back into collecting again, and it's this one for sure. Y: The Last Man.
That's a great story. Severely underrated story.
I fell in love with it, and it was funny. My friend gave me this and Lock and Key, and that's another one I have to get. I still have to snag that one, but he told me to get into this story, and I couldn't because it was an older trade and the colors were faded. Little did I know that would really add to the depth of this story, like the character of the book itself. You know what I mean? Just being an older, grittier book, it just kind of fit the story that went. But the art from Lock and Key grabbed me first, and I would go into there, but he would only give me 2 trades at a time. So I went with Lock and Key, and then once I was finished with those first 2 trades, I started into this, and then once I started this, I was like, give me this. Keep giving me this. I'll come back to Lock and Key.
That's awesome. I do want to shout out some people real quick. I forgot to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go
Dan
for it, buddy.
Always talented. What's up, bro? Comic Books NYC. How you doing? Thanks for swinging by. We got JB, Discovery Bay.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah, it's going on. We got The Gray Man, who's one of my favorites from across the pond for sure.
Yes, sir.
We got Joe 47771. What's going on, man?
Joey Bag of Sevens.
Joey Bag of Sevens. That's good. And I think that's it for now. But that's awesome. And Comic Books NYC says congrats on sending that in and getting a 9.8 as well.
Yeah, I was so psyched about that. That was actually part of my first submission for my own collection.
So do you prefer CGC over the other grading companies, or was that just an opportunity to send it in? Which
in the beginning, I was blind to it. I really didn't know. I just knew that people liked CGC better. To me, I was like,
sure.
If you're just protecting the book, what does it matter? Just go for the cheapest, And that's what one of my friends did. I was selling some books for him. It was the first time I actually got a close-up look at some PGX. He has some better ones like Miss Marvel, but I actually got to look at it, and it's like, I don't. Just me personal, I like the way this label looks on this DGC more than the PGX.
Yeah, I think. Don't even get me
That's really
started
the
on.
only thing for me, and that's just me. I'm a stickler for details like that.
I think the overwhelming majority of us choose a grading company based off of how aesthetically pleasing the label is and if it complements the book. So I think that's, in my opinion, is the big draw towards CBCS and CGCs. Just
That's a
on the
friend of
label
mine.
alone. Yeah.
That was a friend of mine's book. He's been collecting this whole time. I had no idea. Knew him through high school and everything. Hung out with him. Had no idea he collected comics, and he saw me posting stuff on Instagram, and he's like, "Oh man, why don't you come check out my collection?" So we've been kind of hashing it out over old books, and he wanted to see if I could sell a couple for him. And I tried to tell him, not many people are into PGX, but for him, he just looks at it as a grade, encapsulating the book, protecting it, and it's the cheapest way of doing it. He's like, CGC is just too expensive.
Yeah, CGC is incredibly expensive. And then there's some people that they're so blind to CGC, they won't even remotely consider anything else. But $180 in the hole, and you haven't even sent in a book yet. You got to be a member first. It's $180.
Yeah, right.
Jeez, it's nuts. No, thank you, not for me. But speaking of PGX, I hope to have on Dan Patterson soon from PGX. I had gentleman on from EGS Comics who's in Florida, the grading company.
Yeah,
EGS.
Anthony, right? Or Tony?
Yeah, Tony. I can never pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. But I had Steve Borak from CBCS and hope to have Dan Patterson on as well. But that's awesome.
This one went with that Why the Last Man. This is a saga.
Yeah.
This was
awesome.
Probably it's part of the trilogy I want. The 3 books that got me back into collecting are these 2 and Lock and Key. So if I can find a 9.8 Lock and Key, preferably if I can find it raw and send it in, that'd be awesome, because then that means I found all 3 of these raw and sent them in myself. But I'm not
come back 9/8. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not picky though, man. I mean, geez, 2 out of 3 isn't bad,
No, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. But
exactly. For those books too.
I think I only have 1 or 2 9.8s. And I mean, I'm in the same boat. I submitted them myself, but yeah, it's always exciting to get a 9.8.
As far as actually submitting stuff, I've only submitted certain things I wanted to protect. This one I got because I was there. It's a signed God Country, Donny Cage 9.8. The funny story with this is I was actually supposed to meet Hialeah Comics there, and Hialeah Comic Bro, but just we missed each other. He forgot his hat. I couldn't identify him. We just completely missed each other. But I got this clean and press from Midwest Comics, and after the signing, I had 10 books, so I'm like trying to keep the line moving. So I'd sign a book, put it off to the side, let it dry, just kind of slightly overlap them, but not get the other book near the signature, So when in time at the end, I had to bag them all up. So I'm still talking with them, bagging them all. I get to this one right here, the God Country. I put it in a bag, and it just falls off the table. And I'm like, oh, I just paid all this money. We were talking about how expensive it was to send it out, but it fell, but it did the little float down at the end.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, so I was worried for like a month. It finally came back, and it came back 9.8. So I was really excited about that one.
That's a funny story. So I would imagine you go do like a lot of conventions.
Not really, man. I've only been to SuperCon. Like I said, I'm a year back into it, and SuperCon is in Miami, and it was really small. I don't know the company. NYC's in the chat. He might know, but the company that sponsors or runs New York City Comic Con, I think they just took Miami SuperCon under their wing. So I'm hoping that means that more guests, bigger panels, it's been getting bigger and bigger every year. And it's a desirable spot, man. South Florida. I do not know why.
Miami, Florida. I can't imagine, you having a hard time convincing artists and writers to come to Miami. You're not going to Anchorage or
come hang out on the beach. I went to the con this past year, and I'm not good with geography coming up from the island. I just do the GPS and get where I need to go in the city because it's just crazy. So I get there and I get out and I'm like, damn, man, I'm literally like a block or 2 away from my buddy's restaurant. Like, we could go over here and grab lunch. I mean, and he's right on South Beach. So it's just like, why don't people want to come down here and party in the sun? You know.
Right. The Comic Books NYC says read pop.
There you go.
Read pop. So thank you, sir. But that's crazy. So you grew up on in the Keys then?
Yeah, born and raised, left for school for a little while and came back.
That's nuts. I'm originally from Iowa, so to me, like central Pennsylvania is like Metropolis or Gotham. It's huge out here. But
huge
then
city, yeah. Same. Ours is a small town, man. We didn't get a lot of stuff down here. Like I said, we had one comic shop, and then once that 90s thing, the bubble burst, he was gone. Had some baseball card shops for a little bit.
Have you ever chatted with Rob Wurst? I know.
Yeah, man.
He's in Miami, but he comes down to Key West every once in a while.
We tried to meet up a few times. It just didn't work. It just the few times that he reached out, I just was already planning doing other stuff, side jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
He seems like a really great guy, man.
Awesome
He's
guy.
got one heck of a collection, man.
He has got an amazing collection. So everyone go check out Rob Wurst stuff if you haven't already. I would imagine.
Dude, he has one of the best voices out there too, man.
He's got a radio voice. He has a radio voice. Yeah, he's got a radio voice. I'm sad my microphone isn't working. There's some really cool radio settings on there, but that's okay. Moving on. How do you store your books when you're not under threat of inclement weather? Is there do you do like the long boxes and shelves or
short boxes, man? Here, I can turn this real quick.
Sure.
I got the filing cabinet, short box.
Awesome.
System going on. I just did an auction with the Comic Corps Thursday, so that's why there's stacks of comics all over there. I have to put them back in the boxes.
Awesome. That's awesome. So
but yeah, typically that Silver Age I like because they fit my top loaders. I like to use top loaders for some of my better books or autographs, you know. Like I like Neil Adams, so I'll use this House of Mystery.
That's an awesome book. That is really
Neil Adams,
awesome
and I
book.
keep it in a top loader. Help keep it crispy.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I want to submit all my autographs for a grade, and when I'm not submitting them, they sit in top loaders. The problem I have now is I have way too many top loaders than I have books.
Right.
But I guess
have
that's
like
not a
12
problem.
of them over there, man. I'm trying to find books that I can use them for.
So everybody send him a book he can use for his top loaders.
Right.
What does your collection consist of? Is it DC? Is it Marvel? Is it a sprinkle of everything?
I'd have to be honest. It's probably mostly DC, but I have a big, hefty amount of Marvel and indie. Like I have at least a whole indie box, a box and a half of indie. So I like indie. Okay. I like the stories more in indie, really, man. To me, it's kind of like college football versus NFL. Like they're just hungry. They just want to throw out that great story, that great character that's going to make or break them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're trying to make it in the league. The other guys have already made it, and they got comfy and they got their checks.
That's very true. That's very true. But yeah, I mean, I think the majority of people are kind of in the same boat, except for me. You know, I grew up on DC Comics. Only because where I grew up, that was it. There was no.
Dude, Batman and Superman were the first like toys, and then from there it was Spider-Man because I mean everybody loves Spider-Man is probably by far my favorite character. I love a lot of characters, but
what's your favorite DC character then?
Man, I mean I got to go off the top. Batman. I mean,
Batman,
so iconic. Now that I'm getting older, I'm reading other stories like this right here, Mr. Miracle.
Good one.
This right here, I got, first modern or recent title that I read that just sucks me in and further drew me into this hobby again. You know, those stories were old that my buddy gave me and I read, and I'm like, okay, cool. But then when I went to the comic store and found this, and realized the artwork from Mitch Gerads and the story. I mean, not everybody loves Tom King, but when he hits a home run, dude, he hits a home run. And
he's writing the New Gods movie too.
Yeah.
So
knock on wood, man.
Yeah, I personally, I think he's a decent writer, but I know it goes about.
So
50,
do I.
50.
When he has his wheelhouse, man, and when he hits it, dude, it's out of the park. But then there's some things, you know, you can't hit a home run every time, dude. That not everyone can have a hit record every day.
Yeah, it's exciting to see artists and writers move on to bigger and better projects. That's very
Definitely,
cool.
especially for him, man. He's been through it, with the CIA and the comics, and now he's going to movies. The
Yeah, what a
guys,
story, right? What a story. He quit being in the
when's the
CIA to
movie
write.
on his life coming out? You know
Yeah,
what I
right.
mean?
Oh man, that's crazy. And I'm really close to Baltimore Comic Con. I'm like an hour
That's
from
cool, man. I
Baltimore.
almost made it to that this year. I just couldn't swing it last minute.
That's a good con. Bring your books because they got a ton of artists and writers. You'll be there all day just chasing autographs. And what's nice is the majority of them are there, put a couple of bucks in for whatever charity they're representing, and
Yeah.
they'll hook you up with an autograph. So it's fairly
Yeah, to be
light
honest,
on the
man, for
wallet.
the most part, they're all like that. The only one that I really had to pay money for was Neil Adams,
Neil
dude.
Adams, yeah, he's like $50 for a signature.
Yeah, man. I got this one here, Captain Planet. A lot of people
Captain
don't know
Planet.
that he did this. It's got a little bit of sentimental value, man. I love this cartoon growing up.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
So that's a great segue. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to say, is there a book that has a lot of sentimental value to you? Would that be the one?
No, that one's up there. And just because it's not, this one is a little bit, but not, I'll get to the ones that's real sentimental value. But
Sure. Oh, that's really cool. Let me zoom in on that. That's awesome.
just because Neil Adams, we were just saying, yeah, this is sentimental to me. This is the first time I got to meet Neil Adams. Honestly,
That's
one of my
awesome.
favorite artists.
Where did you meet him
Talking
at?
with him, Miami SuperCon. Surprisingly, a lot of not the big bigs, but a lot of newer bigs show up at that con. But this was cool to talk with him and get this remark done. It's still a little pricey, but yeah, to me it was worth it to get that. That's probably like a modern day sentimental. But for me, I have a few here that I brought.
Sure.
First, this was probably one of the stories that got me into collecting. I know it's a trade, but I would literally read the crap out of this book, just flip through and see this doomsday guy that's going to town on this Superman. And oh man, it was just awesome. So it just has a little tint to it from showing its age.
That's all right. It's a great story.
It is, man. I mean, and at that time, the magnitude of it, because we did not think that he was going to come back. People could say, "Oh, people always return in the comics," but at that point, not Superman. He had never thought to kill him off. So after that, Infinity War #1. I used to go through this thing all the time. So when I went to my first con, I had to get Jim Starlin to sign it. This was I think this is the second signature that I got. Bagley was the first one, but I flipped through this thing endless amounts of times, man, seeing all the doppelgangers and fighting against I thought it was so cool. And then these ones here, man, my mom got me these, and these mean a lot. The hologram covers, a lot of people.
I like the hologram covers. I really do.
Yeah, people used to talk trash about them, and now all of a sudden people want them again. But I love them. They mean a lot to me. Hours of reading this, and then this one here, 100 with the spider armor.
That's awesome.
But yeah, those meant a lot to me.
That's awesome, man. So it sounds like collecting, has kind of been like a family affair for you. Your mom is giving you some books to collect, and you're still holding on to that. And I would imagine, down the road when you get old and gray, it sounds like something you want to pass on.
Yeah, eventually, man, once I hone in and get that collection that's not going to be traded or sold, the ones like, because right now I've gone through and there's a lot of these books that really aren't worth anything. But to me, I'll keep them. Like, actually, this is one I forgot to bring out. Where, yeah. I think it's right here. Sorry.
That's okay.
This one here, man. Funeral for a Friend.
That's a good one.
This is probably like the first series that I had to go out and and try to hunt for. Like I had to get this complete series because Superman was going to die, and you had to get everything that had to do with Superman, and I could find all of them but one. And then mind you, no internet. All I had was one crappy store in the Keys, so I had to wait until that store got it, and I got the one copy that showed up and finally completed my run.
That's crazy. I remember like when that story happened, I was too young, so I wasn't into collecting at the time. But I was watching this documentary about DC Comics and all Marvel Comics and the crash of the '90s and how big of a role that story played in the crash. People were buying like 20 copies, thinking they're going to pay off their mortgage and send their kids to college and live on a yacht somewhere in the Caribbean.
Totally, man. I mean, I was a kid thinking that, dude. But I thought that with baseball cards too.
Everybody thought that with baseball cards. It's a weird market, but do you think that there is another comic book crash coming soon? Do you think we're overdue for one? Do you think variants are kind of diluting that market a little bit? What are your thoughts?
I don't think there'll be a crash. I don't think they're making that as many books comparable to the amount of books that were being pumped out back then. I do think variants dilute the market, especially variants from like comic book stores that have nothing to do with the book. They just like, hey, come over here and do this, Joe Blow's comic book shop by J. Scott Campbell. You know what I mean? You're just basing it. I don't know. I used to think it was cool, man, because you're getting cool art, but eventually you can pay a fraction of the cost for a print. If that's the case, why do you need to flood the market with more of a book and really, is that even part of the market? Because that's some other separate comic book store that's doing their own thing. It's not really put out by Marvel, is it? Or whoever. I'm just using Marvel as an example.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think that we need a variant for every single issue. Like, look at Batman number 50, this last 50th issue. You got like 100 variants.
Yeah.
Or and every comic book store needed a variant. Yeah, it was stupid. It was so dumb. Like, maybe do 1 or 2 variants for 50. You know what I mean? And then maybe 1 or 2 for 100.
The ABC, it gives you your option. You got the A, B, and then maybe an incentive variant for C. I'm cool with that. I still shop cover A. My motto is cover A all day. Can't go wrong with the cover A all day because 1, you're saving money by only getting 1 book, 1 cover. But 2, usually that's the book people look for years down the line as the cover A. They want the one that it's usually a niche market that wants that crazy variant. And even then,
1 in 5,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Who are the people that are going to want to buy that? A small percentage of the people. If you're really trying to do a resale value later on in life, then you want to sell to the most chance you have to sell the book, so cover A all day.
Cover A all day. I like it. And I think those are definitely words to live by. But how many total books do you have?
2, 4, 6, maybe like 10 short boxes. 9 short boxes.
Very cool. And since being in the Keys, do you have to order your long boxes and your issues like off of the market or something?
Yeah. E. Gerber is where I would order some stuff.
E. Gerber's nice.
BC, that would where I'd get like my Mylar, and then that got expensive. So
because everyone figured it out.
Yeah, man, it was. I got it over. They messed up and sent me a bunch of extra magazine. I already had like 50, and so I ended up getting 100 magazine bags and boards. And I'm like, what the hell am I?
One place I will recommend everyone to take a look at is Bags Unlimited.
Okay.
They sell everything collectible. I mean, yeah, they do a lot of comic book stuff, but if you collect literally anything else, they have something for it, from paper currency all the way to pops and everything in between.
Cool. Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I do need to get a couple cases for some pops.
Pops are a weird thing, and I know you said you collect some pops, but
I'm on the way out of the pop game, man. But
sure.
I collect some things that mean something. Like I have some turtles. Like the Bebop and Rocksteady. This one, Comic Books NYC, A-OK'd me, man. It's an autographed Stan Lee. That's
Nice.
badass, man.
That is really cool. See, that's worth it.
Yeah. So that one's part of it. It means something. You can take this down, dude. Jeffrey got me this Comic-Con. It's an unpunched Yosagi Yojimbo toy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but as far as the pops, dude, these guys here, man, I had no idea they were gifts.
Rocksteady and Bebop, awesome.
Yeah, I dig them, and yeah, I think they're close. They're right around almost 100 or 75 to $100 a piece.
I wonder why
I had no
Rocksteady
idea.
and Bebop are so expensive.
Yeah, man, Shredder. No one gives a damn about Shredder, but Rocksteady and Bebop.
Man, turtles are awesome.
Yeah, man, it's part of my childhood.
Yeah, me too. My first convention, I got. I'll show you this real quick. I got Kevin Eastman to sign. I don't have a whole lot of turtle books, so this
That's
is
cool.
the authorized martial arts training manual. So inside the story is well, not really story, but it's basically like moves that you can do at home with
That's
these
badass,
weapons.
though, man.
Yeah, and I could just
Have you seen the show, The Toys That Made Us, on Netflix?
no, I haven't.
Got to check it out, man. They just released season 3, and there's an episode about Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
If you
I
love,
gotta check that out.
dude, I had no idea that they split. I've been going through, yeah, Laird and Eastman, they split,
Yeah,
and he didn't get any money. And once he's like, yeah, I'm not, or he got money, he got bought out by him, but then when it came time, he sold it for like 60 million. And he's like, but you said you were never going to sell it. He's like, I never said I was never going to sell it. I just didn't see I was going to sell it right now.
that's awesome. Yeah, I remember I had a stack of Ninja Turtles growing up and watching the cartoons. When I was a little kid, I was on local news for some kind of parade or something, and I told them about my Ninja Turtle that I brought with me. It was kind of funny, but yeah,
Dude, I had no idea about it. We're in this small town, man, and my buddy, his sister was on Broadway. She did Les Mis, and he was up in New York and scooped up some toys and came back down and show and tell. And
awesome.
Showed these turtles, and I'm like, what is that? I need that. What I gotta get me some of that. Then the cartoon started showing up on TV, and you're like jamming out to the intro.
Yeah, those are the days, man. Simpler times when you just sit in front of the TV and watching Ninja Turtles and not worry about nothing.
Totally. I cooked me up some scrambled eggs and cherry Pop-Tarts, and I was good to go.
See, I'm with you on the Pop-Tarts. I was always a Pop-Tart and chocolate milk kid. That was the typical Saturday morning breakfast for me.
Yeah, man, it was cherry Pop-Tart or chocolate Pop-Tart. I was feeling saucy that day, I might have go with both.
Yeah, if you're feeling brave, that's for sure. That's awesome, man. So you're a big turtle guy. That's really cool. I wish I had a cool Ninja Turtle issue.
Transformers. That's something I started collecting, man.
It's a very small market for Transformers.
Yeah, but it's for me. I just started picking up a couple. This one is from the movie.
Awesome.
And then here, first Transformers in comics.
Really? That's the first Transformers in comics?
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'd be dope if it was a newsstand, but it is what it is.
You still got it. It still counts.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I dig it, man.
That's lucky. I mean, I'll have to keep an eye open for that. There's a lot of flea markets and whatnot in our area. I'll have to check it out. That's crazy.
I was trying to find something else to show you. I got other stuff. I got stuff all around.
Whatever you want to show, man.
I like collecting trades, like first editions. I got Akira #1, first edition. So that's cool. That one's bagged and board because it's small enough and cool enough, worthy of a bag and board. This one right here, man, Silver Surfer, first edition, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. That's cool. Pretty dope. That's still cool. Some solid pages in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I collect a couple different things. You know, what the guy here, Sin City,
Sin City's good.
Saga of the Swamp Thing.
Oh, Swamp Thing.
This one here, X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills. This is my second edition, but
Nice.
it's still such a good story. You got to grab it.
That's a
And then this
classic
year,
X-Men.
I got it, man. I got this year one, and first edition. I didn't even realize it was the first edition. I just got the year one for like $20, I think it was, 15
Nice.
bucks. And Comic Books NYC and JP Budget Collecting did a review on the book, and that's when I started really reading it, looking at it, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a first edition. That's awesome, man.
That's
Great
awesome.
book too to be a first. You know, it's a really iconic Batman story.
It is. It is. That's neat. That's neat. It's nice to have friends in different parts of the country to hook you up. Especially in your situation, you don't really have a shop really. You're at the
Well,
mercy
this one
of
I
the
bought,
internet.
man. I bought it on the guy on eBay. He just had like a little honey hole that no one. I just got him cheap, but
Nice.
they were reviewing the book on their channel, and that's what got me to like actually like look at it even deeper and like check out everything. You know.
That's spectacular. That's spectacular.
Oh yeah,
Um,
man.
anything else you want to show in your collections?
I don't know. You're talking about autographs
Yeah,
before.
autographs. Let's check out some autographs.
I got this one here, Edge of Spider-Verse 2. First appearance of Gwen Stacy, signed by Jason Latour and
Now,
Robbie
did you buy it
Rodriguez.
autographed or did you go get
Yeah,
it autographed? Okay.
I bought this one autographed because that was, these guys don't come down here. But then actually, Robbie Rodriguez actually came down here, and I got a couple books from him that he
Very
wrote
cool.
and signed like a magazine. This one here is really cool. Pia Guerrera, Why the Last Man. It's really cool to have a book signed by her. Great artist. And this was actually kind of a trade. I gave my friend Ultimate Fallout 4. This is before it blew up. You know, it was still relatively cheap, but I bought a set and it had two of them in it. He did my logo, the Bake the
Nice.
Snake logo. So I gave him that, and he was my friend too. So I'm like, here, man, we're both getting back into comics again. I'm like, here, bro, this is a book you want to have for the future. And I gave it to him, and he did the logo, and then eventually gave me this.
That's
He's
very
like,
cool.
well, I'm like, are you sure, man? He's like, yeah, I got a sketch from her, little side sketch of ampersand. So
Nice. Unruly Shaman, what's up, buddy? We got Conquistadorks. What's up? That is an awesome name. That is an
Hobby,
awesome
what's
name.
up, bro?
Don't forget, everybody hit the sub each other up, for sure. There's a lot of good
Jeff, how's it
content in the
going?
chat for sure. Biggie Snake does some good stuff. Gray Man does some really cool stuff. Comic Books NYC, everybody does some cool stuff. Everybody sub each other up for sure.
Hell yeah. This one here, man, I won on Reggie Collects channel. He had a trivia night, and I
Yeah,
was quick on the keyboard, and I won this. Watchmen won, and got it cleaned and pressed, and it came back a 9.6.
nice, very nice.
That's a good show that's going on right now. I know you were wanting to talk about kind of like weird keys. This one here, man, is The Origin of the Phantom.
Nice.
This is a pretty cool book. It's got the skull. It's got a subscription crease. It's got a dog. But I like the Phantom, man. Like, I got a soft spot for those cheesy 90s superhero, the Shadow and the Phantom, Billy Zane and Alec Baldwin, man. So when I see something like this and how old it is and the golden key, I think it's like 1 year shy of being golden age. So I mean,
Oh
it's
no.
awesome.
So we're gonna, if it's okay with you, let's pause for just a second.
Yeah, man.
Let's do our first giveaway. Giveaway
Sounds
number
good.
1. And let's see. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I gotta find that trivia question I was gonna ask. So I'm going to put. What's your Instagram handle?
Bake the Snake, THA though.
Bake the snake.
Yeah, like the gangster.
Yeah.
Someone stole my E, but then we were on a stream the other day, and Comic Books NYC found out who it was.
Okay, so I put your Instagram in the hand. I'm going to put it up here for everyone to check it out. This is your Instagram. Bake the, without the E, snake.
No, A.
Oh, with an A. Gotcha. At Bake the snake. Correction. Boom.
Bingo, bango.
So there you go. So if you can check your Instagram, I'll let you kind of monitor it. I will throw up a trivia question. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to do one of my all-time favorite characters ever. And I'm going to send you the answer in a private chat, or if you just even know it. What is, everybody, here we go. So what is the first appearance of the Spectre for DC? The first appearance of the Spectre. And I will.
Yeah, you're gonna have to private.
I will private message you that, but you have to submit your answers to Bake the Snake's Instagram, and he will see who's the first one. So, the first appearance of the Spectre. If you think you know it, send it to the Bake the Snake. We'll come back in 5 or 10 minutes, and he'll tell us who's the first one with the correct answer. Okay, you were talking about autographs, so sorry to mess
No,
with you.
you're cool, man. That's pretty much it for the autographs. Because I went out of order and showed you some of those other ones earlier. I used to have some more like Randy Emberlin and Bagley, but I sold those on the Comic Corps charity auction. It was for a good cause.
Sure. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. If, you guys can check out that cause, and if you can donate, please do. Definitely. Gray Man has to find his mobile, and it's 2:43 a.m.
He's rooting around in the dark. I'm waiting for someone to slide in my DMs.
You're right. Conquistadorks said he's just going to DM you nonsense.
Thanks.
Eventually it'll work. He'll be right eventually. But that's cool. So you've been collecting. I see a really cool Ninja Turtle sign back there. Is that got your name on it?
Yeah, man. That's actually it's a funny story, man. We have this charity golf event down here. It's called the Conch Scramble, and we have fish food golf balls, and you go around in your boats, and each team has to dress up to a theme. Like you just come up with a funny team name and dress according to it. So I was like, why not the Ninja Turtles? So we made turtle shells out of cardboard. I painted them, drew all that, just green, and threw some string through it so you could wear it as a backpack. And we just wore board shorts with green shirts, and had the mask. And that way we were comfortable. And because you're on the hot sun, dude, going on the boat. So it was easy for the boat ride. We take them off. Well, then there's this podcast called Doug Loves Movies. Doug Benson, he's a stoner guy.
I know who he is. Yeah,
he did the movie Super High Me.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
And he's got a show where you have to make a name tag, and they do movie trivia, and it's like for useless points. They're like, we're playing for points. Who are we playing for this evening? And you have to make a name tag based on a movie. And they did a show in Miami, so I went to see that live, and I turned one of my costumes into a name tag, and I figured it looked too cool to throw away, so I just put it up there.
Did you make it on the show with your cool name tag?
Oh, yeah. No, he didn't call me. He didn't get to play for me, but it was still cool, man. It was a fun experience. There's some badass ones, man. Someone made one out of like a Marauders map from Harry Potter, opened up and like mischief managed type stuff. I was like, damn, man.
That's awesome. Hey, it's Rod the Rican. What is up, dude?
Rican, what's happening?
What is going on? Everybody sub up Rod the Rican. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Rod the Rican, but everybody sub up Rod. Oh, that's a cool story. That's awesome. How we looking? Anybody?
No one's hit me up, but
No
can I
one's hit him
answer?
up. Yeah, if you want to answer, well, that's not fair, but okay. But yeah, so if you guys haven't, for those of you who just joined us, we are doing a quick giveaway. The question was, what is the first appearance of the Spectre? And you have to DM at Bake the Snake on Instagram if you know the answer, and you will win the $10 Nucadia gift card to
Sweet.
nucadia.com. But we got one more giveaway after this, so keep an eye open or an ear open. But I do want to switch to some movie news, if that's okay with you.
Go for it, man.
Let me flip my.
Anything Star Wars related?
Are
Can't
you a
go
big
wrong
Star
with
Wars
Star
fan?
Wars. Yeah, man. Star Wars is awesome. My buddy NYC AOK'd me the first 5 issues of Star Wars.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks, Kavi. Thanks, NYC. Holler.
J Hood Creative, what is up, man? He's in for a long night of painting. Good luck, buddy. You are extremely talented, and I'm extremely jealous. Let me flip my little camera here, and then we can talk some movie news real quick. Where is it? Right. Boom. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. Justice Society of America,
Yeah.
Black Adam. He did confirm that the Justice Society of America will be in the Black Adam movie. What are your thoughts? Yes.
I don't know, man. I know that you gotta like pay respects to him, but I was never really a fan of the JSA. Whenever I saw them on the WB or CW networks,
Yeah, that was kind of a bad interpretation of them, in my opinion.
I know, and it's not giving it justice.
No, but I think that is kind of a cool little.
It's a cool little tidbit, yeah, man. And
Yeah.
a little sneak peek. I mean, they're gonna. I think they're gonna do them way better. I mean, it's gonna be. They're gonna have to do them right. They can't hiccup anymore. I mean, especially after Joker and the success of like Wonder Woman. And I know that everyone always says Wonder Woman and was Shazam.
Shazam, Aquaman was good. Yeah,
I really liked Aquaman a lot.
I did too. It was really good. What are your thoughts on JSA? Like, who do you think they're going to pick for the JSA? Obviously, they can't do everybody, but I'm thinking possibly Hawkman. Because,
I mean, you got to do that because then that eventually just goes into him going over to what's it called? God, brain fart. Avengers, but DC, Justice League.
Yeah, once he gets into Justice League, that'll be I think JSA
Sorry,
for Black
it took me
Adam
a while to get that out.
yeah, it's confusing, but I think they knocked it out of the park with casting Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam. Very excited for that, but I think definitely Hawkman, possibly Atom Smasher, Stargirl, maybe Dr. Midnight. Yeah, I guess it depends on what how deep they want to go.
This is going to be the role that he was made for, The Rock, the Black Adam, the role, because he just looks the part and he's just huge. And if he could just pull off like a serious, mean dude without, because he usually throws in that comedy, you know what I mean? Like he could be mean, but he always throws that nice little comedic jab in there to get you a little smile.
Yeah. But
if he could pull the full like T2 villain, like he's gonna have to be a villain,
he's gonna have to be a bad guy, and you look at his films over the last decade or so, he doesn't really do bad guys. Even though you could argue Black Adam's technically not really a bad guy, he's an anti-hero, but for the most part, he's in. But in
theory, we're going to see him as the bad guy first, and then hopefully evolve into that anti-hero and give him his franchise and let him stay a lot longer. Because, I mean, once you get The Rock under contract, you're not trying to let him go anytime soon.
No, and I think it did get leaked that he did sign a multi-picture deal. So we'll see where that goes. And it sounds like Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman in Shazam 3, possibly. I mean, it's a rumor at this point. And that will be Henry Cavill versus Black Adam. So I think they're going to do kind of a live action movie of
Dude, I
Shazam.
love Henry Cavill. I mean, who else are you really going to cast as Superman? They play crap for the mustache thing, but that wasn't him. That was, I mean,
Yeah,
it
it wasn't
was
his
him,
fault.
but
Yeah,
it was his fault. It was both their faults. He wouldn't shave it,
he
and
couldn't. He was under contract. He couldn't.
yeah, and the other guys took too long, and they shouldn't have had to do the reshoots for him. You know, I got an answer from J Hood. He's throwing out New Fun Comics #1.
New Fun Comics #1 is not the correct answer.
So
Yes.
close, J Hood.
So close. Is that the only answer you've got?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I got a request. Hold on.
Okay, we got a request.
More Fun Comics 52, The Gray Man 69. Why are we not friends on Instagram? Why are you like
And the Gray Man wins.
Volume 1?
That is correct. Gray Man, you win. Get with me. I'll shoot you an email or PM or something. I'll get your email, send that gift card out to you. Awesome. Congratulations. We still got.
I'm glad it worked out that way because technically Gray Man was first, except we weren't friends, so it was under request.
Oh, okay. Well, so it worked out. Yeah.
The ball never lies, Gray Man. You were first, you win.
Right?
Sorry, that's a sports talk thing. Sports ball for all the people that don't know.
Right, exactly. And here's the other article I was referring to. Black Adam producer open to having Henry Cavill as Superman. And they did chat with Black Adam, or not Black Adam. I call him Black Adam. Dwayne Johnson about this.
That's a good thing, right? He's already stuck in your head. That's who he is.
Just start calling him Black Adam forever. But from the sound part, I don't know if you've ever seen the animated movie Superman and Shazam First Thunder.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That would be really awesome to do a semi-live action adaptation for this. So that would be really awesome.
Some of those things, that's what I want. You have a great story, you have a great template of what needs to be done. Don't steer too far from the path. Like, just here it is. It's laid out perfectly. And look, it's in comics, so it's really storyboards of what you need to do because that's what they do for movies. It's
storyboarding would be pretty easy if you're doing almost a shot-for-shot remake.
Exactly. Even if it's just reference points, like it's perfect. Like, here, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, but I thought this would be a really cool headline to do. Really cool movie.
I hope so. I'd see it. I'd love to see it.
Now, what are your thoughts on the Marvel Phase 4?
I'm ready for it, man. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, it's gonna be great. Don't get me wrong, but I think people are too into the Fox thing right now. Like, that's not gonna happen until like Phase 5, Phase 6.
Do you think you could see Galactus?
I think he'll be like maybe the end of Phase 6. Like, think about it. Like, we just had Thanos, right?
Sure.
And that's after what, 10 years? 20 years? How long?
I think it was about 10 years. About
10 years. 10 years. That's what their saga was. So let's figure another saga and a bad guy and another saga and Galactus. So I'm thinking like another 20 years before you see Galactus, man. Like, I mean, really, why would you bring him in for no reason? You need him as a big. You need him as a big bad. He's going to be like another Thanos. And who are you going to see that's going to be another big before Galactus? Probably Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's going to probably be the next big.
You're right. I forgot.
And then you're going to need Doctor Doom, the X-Men, and everybody else to beat the big Galactus. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking like outside. We're in a safe space here. This is the train of thought of Bake the Snake here. It makes sense to me. Like, I want to see him right now too. I want to see Fantastic Four and X-Men, but let's be honest, dude. Like, in grand scheme, I mean, Kang. You could think of Kang, right? Because he's the time traveling guy. I'm trying to think out loud, like, what big bads are going to be there for the team up? Because you're going to need another team up. The next team up isn't just going to be Avengers. You're going to have Avengers and X-Men. You know, or we'll probably get a team up with the new Avengers, who our new team's going to be, and then after that, then it's going to be Avengers and X-Men.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of forgot about Doctor Doom, but I kind of want to see them do Galactus, just because I think Galactus kind of got hosed in the Fantastic
Totally
Four
got
movie.
hosed, man.
Yeah.
Totally got hosed.
So I want to see.
I want to see him too, because you know what that means? That means you're going to get a badass Silver Surfer too. So I
Yeah, that's
mean,
true, and they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other for sure.
exactly. So I mean, I could be completely wrong. I mean, I'm just throwing out like my ideas. I have no insight to anything. I'm not, specking. I'm just spitballing. Hey, I'm throwing out ideas. If you guys like them, take them. If not, throw them right back.
One interesting bit of information I heard was for Deadpool in the Marvel universe. Now that unfortunately there's no more Stan King, it sounds like what they want to do with Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool is kind of make him the cameo guy for like all these movies, which
That
would
could be
kind of be
cool,
kind of
man.
cool. Yeah.
I was thinking that too, man. I'm like, they could play a lot of fun. Not even just for the cameo thing, because the whole thing that I was thinking, like, he's gonna have R-rated Deadpool unless he's doing these cameos and these other. And I think that could be a really fun thing to do, a fun avenue to explore with him not being able to say certain curse words or not being able to cut someone's head off or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they could do certain things. We'll just have to see where they take it. I'm not so opposed to them maybe start doing cameos from other big name artists or creators, like a
Yeah.
Neil Adams or Jim Starlin. We already saw that in Endgame, when they were at the round table in the therapy thing where Joe was given,
What was it?
in the very beginning when Joe Russo was giving his therapy
Oh
speech
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
the date
He's
with the
chatting with
guy.
Captain America. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All those guys was like Starlin and I forget who the other ones were.
Yeah, I
But
remember
they were
now.
all comic creators. So I'm not opposed to finally giving them their day in the sun,
That would be rather interesting. And I think what we'll do is we'll pause here for just a second, and we'll do the other part of the giveaway here. I've got from the Flash TV show the
Ooh.
voice
Zoom.
of Zoom, Mr. Tony
Dude,
Todd.
love that character, man. He was so gnarly in that show.
Right. And
Is that from the Bam Box?
It is.
See, you knew about the Bam Box.
Yeah. So when you were talking about Bambox, I got it. So here we go. So for the giveaway here, what we'll do is you have to. I'll bring it back up here. We'll have you referee it again since it worked out so well.
Sounds good.
Where is it? Right here. So if you know the first appearance of Professor Zoom, with first appearance of Professor Zoom, shoot Mr. Bake the Snake and IG.
You're missing the A again.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Am I? Oh man, hold on.
You're all good, man.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Shoot that Instagram an answer
Baby
or a
feet
guess.
Deadpool is the best.
Yeah, right. Baby feet Deadpool. That's funny. So you can win this, and then I will send you this cool autograph from the Flash TV show. He played Candyman. It took me forever to put those two together. The voice of Zoom.
He was the voice. He was the voice, but
Zoom.
That other guy was the actor. Right?
Yeah, he was the voice.
Yeah, Candyman, such a great horror film, underrated.
Very underrated horror film.
Camp classic. You know what I mean? Like it's you gotta love it.
Yeah.
We were spitting out horror films in Rod's chat earlier. I was throwing out Leprechaun and Attack of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh my gosh! You know what's great about that movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space? If you're up,
cotton candy cocoons. That's pretty
that
great.
too. That whole movie is amazing, by the way. But there is a really small. I don't want to say cameo, but it was his actually first time ever being an actor, and it was Christopher Titus.
Oh, okay.
He was like the first,
The
like,
comedian.
yeah, the comedian. Yeah, he was. I think it was he died or his girlfriend died. I don't remember. It was like right away in the movie, like the first 10 minutes. It was Christopher.
Gee,
It was Christopher Titus.
we got an answer from the Gray Man himself once again. He's
The Gray
coming
Man.
back at it with Flash 139.
He got it. Okay, so Gray Man does a sweep of the series. He wins them both.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations to the Gray Man.
Thanks for participating.
I can't believe you won them both. That's awesome. But that's
Yeah, do you remember the original Flash TV show? I used to
from
love
like the
that.
early '90s. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
John
on
Wesley
Fox.
Shipp. Yeah,
Yep. That's why it was great to have him come back in this new Flash series. You're like, yes, he gets a cool suit. He gets the hat, the Jay Garrick.
but yeah, I guess in Crisis on Infinite Earths now, he's Barry Allen from that world. For whatever that
Okay.
world took place, he's that Barry Allen.
That's cool too. I'd like to see where they go with that, man. I'm looking forward to it. The thing I can do without is probably Batgirl and Supergirl. But
Yeah,
other than that, it's all right, man.
yeah. What do you think about the Batgirl TV show?
Or Batwoman, sorry.
Or
But
Woman? I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I tried to get into it. I tried to watch the first one. I started to fall for it, and then it just kind of went downhill for me. It just seemed like, I don't know, slap in the face almost. Not
Yeah,
just to me or men, but just in general to fans. Like, it just seemed like a really cheap knockoff. Like, I don't know.
yeah. It's not for me. I get the
Yeah,
appeal behind it. I understand why some people are just head over heels in love with that show, but unfortunately, it's not for me. I gave it,
I don't think
a
it's for
few
much of
episodes.
anyone. The ratings keep dropping more and more each week, and rumor has it it's on the verge of being canceled. So,
It's
you know,
Batwoman, and not that we don't need a strong female character to have a TV show. I just don't
hey
think
man, they're there. They're out there, and
they are. I just don't think Batwoman was the best possible choice. What they should have done, if you remember, in the Arrow CW Flash couple episodes, they had that young lady. I can't remember her name, but she played Vixen.
Yeah.
They should have gave her a show, in my opinion. I think that would have been a much better and more interesting show.
Speaking of that, it looks like they're kind of, because Arrow's done, it looks like they might be trying to gear off to give his daughter a series. Who knows?
Just let it go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Let it go. Come on. Like when they're talking about giving this current Joker movie a sequel.
A sequel. I was just like, dude, it was great. Just kill it.
Just let it go. Yeah, you're done. You're up here.
Not everything needs a sequel.
Don't Brett Favre it and just keep
Yeah, I
coming
mean,
back.
do you remember the '90s? That's why half movies got sequels. I mean, we got a Problem Child 2 for no reason. Like, what was going on?
Who wanted the first one?
Exactly.
But yeah, Batwoman is not for me. I think they should just leave Arrow alone, let him retire, and let everyone else leave. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it, man. I mean, it's the obvious reasons, without getting too crazy with
Sure.
it, but they force a lot of agenda on a lot of topics on that channel, and it's really turned me off from almost all of their superhero content on that channel. I used to be diehard every single one of them, and then slowly but surely, every channel has gone the way of the agenda, and it's just kind of turned me off. I like the Flash still. The Flash is fun, but even then, they started doing some stuff. Like there was a whole season where Iris West was like just trying to stomp her foot and pout to tell everyone that she was the leader of the group. And I'm like, dude, last I checked, that guy in the red outfit over there with the name Flash is the leader. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, the guy who can save the universe, probably let him run the show.
Yeah, like I get it. You might run the show at home, but right here in Star Labs and the team that's going down, he's the head honcho.
Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, I got issues. Says Supergirl's the worst for agenda. I agree.
Issues, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
But one thing I do like about Supergirl is they kind of bring in these lesser known characters, and that's really cool. They brought in Red Tornado in season 1, like
That
episode
was kinda
5
cool.
or 6. I love that. I am a closet Red Tornado fan. I think he definitely
He
needs to
looks
come back
cool in
some
the
way.
show. There's other characters that just look like hot garbage, and it's like,
Yeah.
geez, man, are you guys even trying in the special effects department?
No, they let the interns run a couple shows, get some experience,
Exactly.
right? But have you been reading DC Black Label at all?
I read the first ones, Superman Year One and Batman, Batwing.
Damned.
Yep. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting on this one here. The White Knight. I know it's old, but I put this one in a little bag of board too, because for me, I was trying to get the first titles off of Black Label. I mean, how often you get to be the stepping stone or the first beginning of a new label. So I got the first two Batman and Superman titles and the first trade paperback that they put out. So that was cool. I was looking forward to a Wonder Woman one in DC, but they canceled a few titles, man, after that Batwing incident.
What an unnecessary thing to do, in my opinion. But whatever.
Yeah, to me, it was actually like bad for the title, bad for the image, or I'm sorry, bad for the label, because they marketed it all as being for the artist,
for mature readers,
right,
yeah,
and mature. And then here, first sign, you tuck tail and run, and you don't support your artist, and you just change everything. You could tell, like even when the second episode, the second book of Batman Damned, you could see some scenes that were like altered where Harley was supposed to be topless or something.
Yeah, I think I know what panels you're talking about in particular, but
it's funny, man. You get stuff like Game of Thrones, like you get this whole thing where with HBO for a while, women wanted more penis, more male frontal nudity, because there were so many breasts that were out there, and it's just like, in what world do breasts and penises equate? Or when does bush and penis equate? Because I've yet to see a female reproductive organ on HBO, but you see plenty of dong flying around.
The South Park parody for that was amazing, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that was definitely something. I think the Spectre needs a DC Black Label, because he's a historically violent character. God's
I
wrath.
never got into the Spectre, man. What's so appealing to him, to you about him?
Because there's so many things. Like,
I'm flipping the interview around now.
Yeah, right. Well, what's great about the Spectre is, if you believe in, if you like Batman, you're gonna like the Spectre. Batman's all about street justice, but Batman won't kill them. Spectre will just, rip your spine out, and rip you in half like a phone book. And
Batman walks to the edge. Spectre just dives head first.
Dives head first. And what's nice is, he can like possess different objects. And there's a really cool animated short for Spectre. There's a murderer who happens to be a prop guy for like Hollywood or whatever. He's got all these props or whatever. And Spectre's like, you want to see something cool? I'm the Spectre. And he just possesses all these like zombies, prosthetic items, whatever. And the prosthetics kill him. It is so fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he can walk through walls. And this bank robber like took all this cash, and he made the cash like stiff as a board, and like literally death by 1,000 paper cuts, just like.
Oh,
yep. I think it's like,
I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I think I got like a Spectre issue somewhere around here, man.
Yeah, the Spectre is violent, and it is cool.
He was issues, man. You missed this. I showed this off earlier.
For sure.
He's a big Mr. Miracle fan.
Have you seen like the Constantine TV show?
No, but I know they hired the guy from Constantine and put him on Legends of Tomorrow, which I was a huge fan of that show in the beginning, and that's another
love
one
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah,
it just went off the deep end for me, man.
Yeah, I like the Constantine TV show. Spectre makes a couple cameos, which is kind of
That's
nice.
cool, man. I'll have to check it out. I didn't. Yeah. It was before, what was it on Fox? It was on something like that.
I think Fox, it was on NBC. NBC. It was a dumb network that hates original content.
Yeah, so I never really gave it any time of day, because I'm like, they're not going to do it justice. They're not going to, put anything behind it. I really did like the movie, though. I thought the movie was pretty good.
It sounds like Keanu Reeves is open to coming back to reprising his role as Constantine.
I wouldn't
WB
oppose to that, man. I think that'd be pretty cool.
sounds like WB has got Keanu Reeves on lockdown.
Have him come over and hack up another lung, stop some demons.
That was an awesome movie. What a great way to end that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird having an American Constantine because he's British. That's how I know him.
Yeah, that's how I picture him.
And I thought Matt Ryan, the current Constantine on Legends of Tomorrow, was awesome. Constantine.
I think he's good. Yeah, he's got a great rapport. He's quick. He's witty.
And what's funny, because a lot of people that know him as a person say there's really not a whole lot of difference between John Constantine and Matt Ryan.
That's perfect, man. That's kind of like what was it? American Pie, Stifler.
Yeah,
he was just an amped up version of the normal guy.
Yeah, and I've heard some people say the same thing about RDJ for Tony Stark. There isn't not a difference.
Yeah, they just end up just turning it on a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah, and that's kind of nice to get that from your actors. You get big versions of themselves.
You're asking about Constantine. Did you ever see The Boys? That's a good one that came out for Amazon. That's probably, in my opinion, the best comic book TV show that's been out on TV. Period.
Yeah, for sure. What about the Titans and Doom Patrol? Have you seen them yet? I
love Doom Patrol. Haven't watched the Titans yet. I just couldn't get into the first season.
Titans got slow. Season 2, they definitely.
Season 2 is great.
I
hear good things about it.
Yeah,
but I was pleasantly surprised with Doom Patrol how much that I really enjoyed that show. It was really good.
Yeah, I was blown away by Brandon Fraser's Robot Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When they announced that, I was like, this is going to be stupid. Like, really, Brandon Fraser.
I've been waiting for him, man. I mean, I'm not expecting him to be like some huge movie star, but it's just like we're at that age where those guys that were in movies when we were kids come back and make a guest appearance or star, and you're like, oh, man, I remember that guy. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, one time Brandon Fraser was one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Now he's overweight and doing Doom Patrol.
Solid. He doesn't even have to do anything. He's just the voice now. I don't know if he wears the mask, but either way, he doesn't really have to rely on his looks. He's just chilling being the voice of a robot.
Yeah.
It's like being a backup quarterback for a football team. I'm totally down for that.
Backup punter, you mean?
Yeah, even better.
Oh, that's cool. But it sounds like the new Stargirl that is coming on the DC Universe app is also premiering on the CW as well.
Yeah, why not? But actually, yeah, they shouldn't do that. Because then they're just,
DC's biggest competitor I shouldn't say DC. Warner Brothers' biggest competitor is other Warner Brothers properties. And it doesn't make any sense. They screw themselves every time they do it.
They should have a huge channel, a huge streaming service. Like that's the theory, right? They're gonna have a Warner Brothers streaming service and have all the DC properties and all the comics and all the WB movies.
But they have the DC streaming service.
Yeah, and then they're just gonna add the WB stuff, right?
I guess. Who knows?
I mean, you kind of have to compete with Disney. You kind of need a major film company to team up with a comic book property, and then you have all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Netflix has basically getting the indie comics under their umbrella with Mark Millar and
Mickey Thanos.
Yeah,
Mickey Thanos. That's crazy. But okay, I think we've gone long enough. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. If you want to throw out your social media one more time, where can they find you?
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for having me. You can find me at Bake the Snake, THA, for the on Instagram. I'm on here on YouTube, mainly just hanging in the chats, just like every one of you guys. You shooting the shit and, always looking to talk books. And, thanks for having me on the show, Tony. It was a great time. I really enjoyed it. I could go longer.
Yeah, that's the problem is I gotta regulate myself. I'll be here till 4:00 in the morning talking books with everybody. But
yeah, I was having that conversation with Comic Books NYC where we got to start editing down our times. So we stop around, digestible bites for people to actually watch instead of these 7-hour long live streams.
I haven't gone quite that long. I think my longest is like an hour and 20 minutes, but that's crazy. Tomorrow I will be teaming up with Rod the Rican. I am on his channel at 4 p.m. Eastern, doing the comic book community shout out. But this has been an awesome pleasure with Bake the Snake. I definitely feel bad for you. You live in the Florida Keys. That's got to be rough, especially in the winter.
Yeah, man, we just hit our first cold snap. We finally hit 75, 70 degrees. So it's been summer
it was
this
30
whole time.
today here.
Oh man, I feel for you.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm from Iowa, so 20 below zero isn't uncommon.
No, I saw snow once in my life, and that was enough for me, man. It was 22, and after that, no more.
Really, one and done, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go sometime, but I'm not going out of my way to just go freeze my ass off.
Yeah, I get it, but awesome. Just hang on a second, sir. Let me end the broadcast here.
Sure, man.
1 second.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody. Gray Man, sweep. He's the sweep. The showstopper.